Hello, everyone's Forest Focus as Nottingham Forest Women kick off their season in WSL 2 on Sunday against Newcastle United at the City Ground. Joining me to look ahead to the game and reflect on her time in the club is a former captain who played more than 300 games for Forest before departing this summer and taking up a club ambassador role. Lyndsey Harkin, good to have you with us. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
Well, you know how I am, because I just told you before we started recording. This goes back to yesterday's podcast when we were very late starting because of stuff going on at home, but with construction. But we're getting there. We're getting there anyway. That's the point. Great to have you with us. Like I say, we'll talk about the first game for Forest, obviously soon. Just before that, as mentioned, you're a club legend. I guess it was a difficult decision to go. What was the thinking behind it? How did it all come about?
Yeah, obviously I've been at the club for a long time, so it was never going to be an easy decision for me. But it was obviously I'm still working. I've got a young family, and my schedule and the Forest schedule just didn't really align. So that's the way it came about, really. I was having to drop another day at work, and it was just then the timings changed a little bit of the Forest schedule. So for that reason, I think for me and my family, it was the best decision for me to kind of end on a high with that promotion secured and everything like that. I knew it was going to be extra difficult with timings and stuff for work. So that was it, really. So I knew I had to make that decision. And yeah, I was pleased to obviously be offered that ambassadorial role as well, which I can still represent the club that way.
Was there a temptation just to make it work for one more season so you could experience this campaign and, maybe get another promotion even and stuff like that? Or was it just completely unfeasible?
Oh yeah, it was definitely a consideration, of course. Like like I say, it was definitely not taken lightly. I'd kind of looked and stewed over it with my family and stuff as well. But I knew it was hard last year. It was hard committing to everything, but obviously the reward's amazing. So, but yeah, this year I think it was with that extra travel, the extra commitment needed for this upper level. Then I knew it was going to be really difficult for me to manage my time. So that was the reason, really.
I was going to ask you if it's sunk in yet, but you've already signed for another club in Wolves. So are you just straight back into it, or is there any kind of missing the Forest environment?
Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. Like at the time, it was obviously a really hard decision. But like with that ambassadorial role, I feel like I'd always be connected with Forest no matter what, with me being there so long and growing up there as a kid and things like that. So I always have that affiliation with Forest naturally anyway. But yeah, I was pleased obviously to sign for Wolves. I know some Forest fans might not be happy about that, but Wolves are a great team, so I feel very settled there. I've got mates there that I knew previously anyway, so it felt quite smooth in that respect. I think it probably helps that our season at Wolves has started already, so it's just like straight back into it. And obviously the exciting for the WSL to start this weekend as well.
Was it a bit weird signing for them in the sense that, on this podcast, I think we've probably done 3 or 4 seasons now, and Wolves and Forest seem to be rivals going for the same thing. So was it an interesting decision signing there or not?
Yeah, exactly. We've been sort of heads for quite a few years now with Wolves. It was always they were sort of our rivals at Forest and vice versa. So yeah, it was obviously a bit weird from the outside, but once I spoke to Maka, we kind of had a bit of a joke about we can be on the same team now and not at each other. So it's one of the things, the mutual respect's there. And yeah, I feel like I say I feel settled there now as well.
Yeah, no jokes about that game where you beat them 6-0 or something or whatever it
Yeah,
was.
6-1 it was. And to be fair, there's been a few games either side where we were 3-0 up the other year and we lost 4-3, I think, or was it 3-2? I can't remember. But so there's been a few games where it's been like really tense and really competitive. So yeah, they've been from both sides. Has been great games. So yeah.
How does the ambassadorial role work? Have you been able to flesh it out yet or not?
Well, to be fair, this is my first official outing as an ambassador, I think.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, so there's been obviously with the season not starting yet, there's not been that much for me to do yet. I think there'll be more coming, obviously, and I think it's important for me to give back to the club as well as the city, and that's what I'm quite excited about that too.
Yeah, because I see like the whole Harkin family. I think I've spoken to your husband before, but I've seen them at games. Your kids are on the pitch.
Yeah.
It's a family affair. So I know that I'll ask you how much the club means to you, but also your kids must have been pretty gutted that their mum was leaving as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we're definitely Forest through and through. We're all Forest fans. Daniel's a season ticket holder. The kids go to matches when they can. To be fair, my son is a season ticket holder this year as well. So, yeah, it's obviously a big change for everybody, not just myself. But yeah, they love Forest and always will. So it doesn't change that.
And obviously, people watching this will know you spent, I think, like 10 years at Forest this spell, but you started with Forest as well, didn't you? From like, you made your debut when you were a teenager, like 14 or something, I read?
Yeah, so I joined the club when I think I was 8 years old. So going to the under-10s, went through the age groups and made my senior debut. You could do it back then. Shows my age, I suppose, that you could be 14. And there's quite a few of us sort of that sort of era that did that, 14, 15 years old. So yeah, majority of my life at Forest. So yeah, it's been a big bulk of my life there.
Is it a bit mad how much it's changed? Obviously, the women's game, but the club in general. I know, you were talking about your work commitments and how it's full time. We'll talk about the quality of players at the club now, but the trajectory of the women's club and the ambitions for the future, it's quite a contrast from when you were, as you say, 14, making your debut.
Oh, it's massive, and I think that's testament not just to the club, but also women's football in general. Like, it's such a growing sport. It's so exciting, sort of, to be part of that, and to see the way the club's grown is huge. Like, for young girls growing up in the city that can really aspire to be a professional footballer. I think we didn't have that growing up. There's a lot of girls that are still playing now that would say the same, playing for boys teams and things like that. So yeah, I think it's really important for girls and boys to see that women can do that too. And like I say, the way the club's going now, the sort of the caliber of player they've attracted this year so far, to be in that position that we wanted to be in, we've been like sort of striving towards for so many years, to finally be in WSL2 is fantastic, and long may it continue. I think the club, well, playing at the City Ground, that was a huge step for us, and then that's continued and to build on that. So yeah, it's huge and massive sort of pride really in the fact that where it's got to so far.
And that promotion as well, because again, doing interviews with you guys over the last 2 or 3 years, there were so many near misses because of the league structure, as much as anything, to finally get that promotion and to go out on that note as well. But that must have been, was a big weight off your mind in a sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was something we was striving towards for many years, and I think we came so close. Obviously, winning the league and then losing out on the playoffs was a huge blow. But then it's been building again, and to go out unbeaten, I think was huge as well in the league last year. Because it is such a tough league. You look at the teams, so competitive, and it's them fine margins, and we only won it by 3 points against Wolves. So it was very tight all through the season. So yeah, to go out like that was fantastic, and yeah, and I think like I've said previously, like the way the club's going is just higher and forward. So that's brilliant to see.
Just before we talk more about Forest this coming season, then I'll ask you: have you thought about how much longer you want to keep playing for, or is that a year by year thing now?
Yeah, I think just play it by ear. I think I feel good at the moment. My body's sort of keeping me well, so I've not, touch wood, don't get any more injuries or anything like that. So yeah, I think just play it by ear. Make sure I'm still enjoying it, which I am at the moment. So just keep my head down and keep going.
Just before we talk about Forest this season, and a word for the Trent Navigation gigs coming up in the next few weeks at the Nav. Tickets from fatsoma.com. You can go see the Cure Heads on Friday. That'll be tonight when this comes out, 7 p.m. Legends of Manchester as well, October the 11th. So tickets from fatsoma.com. Are you an interest? Do you have any interest in the Cure? Is that your thing or not?
I'm not particularly. I'm not against it. I don't mind the music, but I'm just not a huge fan of them. But yeah.
Cool. I have to ask some random question whenever a guest comes on like that, certainly. So Forest this season then. I was looking at the league, big clubs in it. You're coming up, and we'll talk a little bit about the signings that you've made and the expectations, but how big a step up would you say it is? Like, I guess people watching this who won't be familiar with men's football will say Is it the Championships, the Premier League, that kind of thing? How big a leap is it?
Yeah, I think from tier 3 to obviously WSL 2 is quite a big jump. Everyone's professional in that league, whereas the tier 3 wasn't. And then WSL 1 is another jump as well. So yeah, it's a very competitive league. There's a lot of very, very good players in there. So and like you say, the big club names as well that people will recognise.
I'll just put a graphic up for people who are watching on YouTube of the signings made by Forest. You'll be able to tell us more than I can about some of these players. I looked at like Deanne Rose, who's an Olympic gold medalist. She's in her mid-20s and she's got 88 caps for Canada. All those players on screen as well have come from higher league clubs with lots of experience. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those players and the ones you'd be excited about?
To be honest, every time a new player's been like announced, I think brilliant signing. Not just for what you see on paper, but their personalities and what they can bring to the team as well. So, a lot of leadership in that group as well, with a hell of a lot of experience. And like you say, the gold medal, Canada caps. A lot of them play international football. So this is just showing what Forest can do, I guess. Like, they've really attracted some top level players there, so it's really exciting. I wouldn't like to pick anyone out in particular, but because as a whole I think they've all brought their own qualities to this squad. So yeah, it's really exciting to see how we're going to get on this season.
In terms of kind of hopes and expectations, I don't know if you've spoken to any of the girls you played with last season and what they're aiming for. I know you wouldn't tell us necessarily, but what do you think they might be aiming for this season?
Well, look, as I've already said, the league is tough. It's very competitive, but with the signings we've made and the squad we already had and secured from last season's squad, it's a very competitive team. It's very, like I said, I'm so excited to see how they're going to get on. I think a good season would be sort of consolidating a higher. Let's be honest, we're going to aim for as high as possible. There's a lot of ambition in this club, from the owners as well as the girls themselves. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know if I should put a league standing on it or not, but I think what Newcastle did last year was really, they did well. They came, I think it was 4th or 5th in the end from promotion. So I'd like to see that sort of level. That would be fantastic.
You mentioned Newcastle there. Then they're the opponents in the first game at the City Ground, 2:00 on Sunday. I'm sure people should get tickets to that. I always recommend going to the games and experience them, especially if you've got younger kids. It's a great environment to go watch the games. Before we talk about Newcastle, how important is it to have a home game first up?
Yeah, it's really great. I feel like it's been a long time coming. Obviously, the season ended end of April, so it's felt like a long time, and sort of the suspense and everything's been building. So yeah, to kick off the season at the City Ground is brilliant, and hopefully a lot of fans come down and support the girls, because I think it's going to be a great game.
And the importance of a win, I know it's easier said than done, but you look at like Sunderland beating West Ham in the men's Premier League and how the momentum it can give you. If you can get a win, it'd be pretty massive for you, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. And let's be honest, Newcastle are a great team, but so the signings we've made and the girls that were already there have a good side as well. So I think it's really going to be a great game. And yeah, a win would be very important, but it's a long old season, so let's see how we get on. And I think being at home with that home crowd would be great to achieve 3 points.
Just to reiterate how good Newcastle are as well, I was looking at their squad, and I'm no expert on women's football, but I wouldn't say I was, but there were names I'd recognise as big names: Demi Stokes, Jordan Nobbs, who played loads of games for England at the highest level. So it goes without saying they're no mugs, are they?
Oh no, definitely not. And I think across the board in the league this year, a lot of people have moved around, but teams are strengthening. They're really looking to push into that WSL 1. Which a lot of clubs obviously are aspiring to be. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a very competitive, exciting season.
Are you able to go, or are you playing at the same time?
I'm actually, yeah, I've got a game myself. So any Sunday games are obviously going to clash with tier 3. But hopefully I can get to as many as possible, because I'm really excited about this season.
Excellent. I'll give you a chance to plug it before we go, in terms of why people, obviously there's no Forest men's game because it's an international break. So if people are looking for something to do on Sunday, I'll give you a chance to plug why they should go down if you want.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Go for it. Sell it to us. This is the test of a club ambassador now.
I know, brilliant. Well, like you said, Forest aren't at home. It's the international break, so why not come and support Forest at the City Ground? First game of the season. We need as many fans as there possible to cheer on the girls. So come on down. It's a great family experience. Or if you just wanted to come with your friends, it's a brilliant occasion.
Excellent, great job. Check out the Forest website to get your tickets. In the meantime, if you've enjoyed this, do hit like, hit subscribe, consider channel membership, Patreon, or a lovely 5-star review on Apple or Spotify. We'll look to do more women's team stuff throughout the season, obviously, and Lyndsey is very welcome to come back on. But in the meantime, Lyndsey, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, everyone. We are back. I'm trying to take a whole weekend off. Unless something mad happens with Forest. But in the meantime, if we don't see you tomorrow or on Monday, we shall see you soon.